Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to talk about tips for moving and some do's and don'ts when packing to move. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Val Hardesty and you're watching Elizabethtown Living. So we all know that moving is the biggest chore that we could tackle. And while Jarrett and I haven't exactly moved out of state a lot, one time in fact, we have actually moved 9 times in the 20 years we've been together. So we get it. Moving is hard. There's a lot that's involved. And I am one of those people who tries my best to be organized because I don't like the stress and the chaos, and I don't overdo it, but I do like to have at least some knowledge of what's in my boxes and where they're going, so moving day just isn't going to be crazy. So let's talk about some of the do's and don'ts when packing. Okay, so first things first, we have to tackle the things that are first. So first things first, I recommend arranging to get a pod if you know what those are, or you know how to get one or rent one. They're those big giant boxes that they deliver at pretty much any location, and you can kind of go through your things or store them temporarily while you're in this transition. That might be a very good tip, especially if you can't plan on using your garage area to sort things because your garage is already full of things. So you might need a pod. Because the second part of moving includes, yes, purging and getting rid of things that you don't need, no longer use, and you know you're not going to use them in your next adventure, wherever it is you're going to next. So have a yard sale or get comfortable with letting things go and take them to a donation location and just get rid of each and everything in each and every room that you do not need. I know that's hard, but we can do it. I like the term minimalism through expendable consuming. That's kind of confusing, but it basically means let's keep what we purchase at a minimum and make sure that we're using those items and they're expendable items, meaning you can eat it, wear it, or use it. And then when you're done using it, you let it go, give it to another family, let it move on from your life, and don't store it, because usually we don't revisit it once it's lost in storage. It's like the Bermuda Triangle for things that we don't use. At least it is that way for me. Like Elsa says, let it go. So one good thing I recommend doing is try one of those food delivery services for the week you're moving in, like starting with the day of closing or even a couple days after closing. And here's why. We all know that we don't want to be cooking or finding our pots and pans. We certainly don't want to overspend on eating out for a week or two. And you may not want to do grocery shopping right away. It's a headache. And sure, we can do the online thing and pick it up in the drive-thru. That's a bonus, so maybe try that. But maybe try a food service, a food delivery service where they bring it to your house and you've got a week's worth of meals for your family. Also, your agent should be helping you with when to turn your utilities on. So they may not know exactly which company services your new address, but we can easily find out or ask the selling agent. So on closing day, just make sure that you're not forgetting to have those utilities switched over into your name, because when it is time to move in, you're going to need those utilities on. So the first box we should pack is our overnight bag, or our box of essentials that you're going to need the first night or 2 or 3 nights that you're there. So of course, things like toiletries, toothpaste, a roll or 4 or 5 or 6 of toilet paper, a change of clothes, ladies, your hair accessories or things like that you know you're gonna need, while you're moving. Oh, definitely don't forget phone chargers and eyewear, things like that, glasses, contacts, things you don't want to be digging for. So just go ahead and mark that box. Essentials, day 1, must have, gets on truck last so you can get it out first, or stays with me in my car, on my shoulder. The bag of essentials is important. Also, another good tip is if you maybe didn't order, food service delivery, or you're not going grocery shopping right away, maybe it's a smart idea to pack a cooler of drinks and like small refrigerated meals that you can microwave real quick, or a couple snacks, like just handy, ready to go, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, still under first things first, the first box to pack after you've packed your essentials and your overnight bag, or possibly your overnight cooler, you're going to need to pack a small box of cleaning supplies. That also needs to come off first, because just in case the house you're going to does need a touch up, it wasn't professionally cleaned, or it wasn't professionally cleaned to your liking, then you're going to want to clean it before you move all your stuff in. So unpack the cleaning essentials first. So tip number one in the do's of packing and moving and loading the truck is, please do remind your movers to pack your bed, or whoever needs to sleep that first night, last. That way you can get off the truck first, and the first thing you set up is your bed. A bed, your bed, the kids' beds, somebody's bed somewhere, because moving is exhausting, and the first day you're moving in, if you want to get tired and conk out, the last thing you want to do is go, where's the bed? Where are the bed rails? Where are the screws? Where's all that stuff? So set up the bed first. You will thank yourself at the end of the day. So tip number two when packing is, make sure you're packing just about all of the same size of box. That way they fit on the truck nicely, they stack nicely, you don't have a lot of like Tetris situations going on for the most part. But you are going to need some things that require a larger box of their own, like, a lamp with a lampshade, or, pillows or something if you didn't want to put them in a trash bag or that kind of thing. So there are some things that require larger boxes. And in that case, you just definitely want to like pack heavy things in the small boxes and pack light things in the large boxes. It'll just save you some, stress on your back or a trip to the chiropractor. Bend at the knees, not at the back. Tip number three is invest in good moving blankets. I'm a fan of good moving blankets. We have a few and we use them all the time, even when we're not moving necessarily our home, but moving anything, buying a new piece of furniture, or transporting a piece of furniture when we want to sell it, or whatever. Invest in some good moving blankets. I mean, I say at least 5 or 10 if you're moving, but 5 just to have. We do have some good links in our description if you want to check out a good company that offers these good packing and moving supplies, including moving blankets. Oh, also moving blankets are good for like doubling their use, so you don't just have to consider, throwing them in the storage unit somewhere, never to be seen until you want to move something again. Use them again. Maybe use them for drop cloths when you go to paint. So they come in, they have multiple uses, and that's why we love them. Tip number 4, stretch wrap your furniture. Oh my gosh, what a great tip. Why wouldn't we stretch wrap our furniture to protect its edges and from getting all beat out of shape, all bent out of shape, beat out of shape, same thing, when we're moving it, because furniture companies do it. When a good furniture company does it when they deliver your furniture, so why shouldn't you take care of your nice stuff when you go to move it? Even your sofas, because it'll protect it and possibly make it easier to carry. Do number 5 is protect your plates from getting broken by using those little plate protectors you can get all over Amazon in every different size, those little styrofoam circular pieces. Or if you want to go a cheaper route, just go to the dollar store and buy some styrofoam plates to stack in between your regular plates. Do number 6 is make use of the space you've got. So if you're packing pots and pans, crock pots, Instant Pots, all that stuff, fill those pots with other things like spices and smaller utensils, and just fill everything to the best of your ability. Even baskets, stack the baskets or fill the baskets and then put them in the box, that kind of thing. One of the don'ts is don't take your clothes off the hangers. Go ahead and keep your clothing on the hangers. Take a rubber band or a strong twist tie or zip tie as many as you can together, and then get some garment bags that'll protect them, or if you want to use trash bags, that's fine too, unless you're kind of like me and allergic to fragrance. Invest in some garment bags. You'll thank yourself later. Another great tip, which we mostly all know, but maybe you've never heard this one and don't know how to exactly find your pieces, is take all your hardware to your furniture pieces, put them in a Ziploc bag, and tape them to the actual piece of furniture. That way, when you go to set up that furniture, all the hardware is right there with it, all the screws and bolts and nuts and all that good stuff. So tape it to the furniture. Even your TV, you can tape up the wires and cords and everything that goes with that TV right on the back of the TV. So you're set, ready to go. Okay, so here's one of my don'ts. Don't pack unnecessary things that are just gonna cause stress and more anxiety and more chaos than necessary. And some of those types of things are, for example, like wrapping paper and gift bags. I know that we don't want to have to rebuy that stuff, but if we could be honest with ourselves, wrapping paper in those little cardboard rolls they put them on, it's not going to make the trip no matter how you pack it, most likely. And I've seen some tips and tricks, but I'm like, really? I don't keep all that much wrapping paper. These days we buy those little gift bags anyway, and even those, they're really not that expensive if you buy them at the dollar store when you are giving gifts, that kind of thing. So if we're holding on to the really pretty gift bags and we've got totes of 55 of them and we don't have a birthday coming up for 2 months, I just don't see the point in traveling with all that stuff. Gift it to someone else. Pass it on down the road and share the love, and just buy new when you get there. Chances are you're not going to use them for a while anyway. If you're like me, gift giving involves a little more than sometimes the wrapping paper and gift bags. Sometimes, or I'm sorry, a little less. Sometimes it's just a gift card and a card, or just get it when you need it. Again, expendable consuming, like buy it as needed and let it go. Don't hoard them in totes, because you're just going to frustrate yourself when you have to move all that stuff, things you aren't even really going to use till Christmas. Even at Christmas time, I don't know about you. Okay, that might be a touchy one. Christmas is hard because you do use a lot of that stuff at that time. But if it's really not that big of a deal to go buy more, just let it go. Pass it on and go buy new when you get there. Another don't is, don't also stress yourself out by packing open bottles of things. So if you're anything like me, and you may not be, but I try really, really hard not to have like 24 bottles of shampoo in my cabinetry that I never use. Like I have one shampoo and one conditioner, and that's what I use until it's gone and I replace it with new. And so even hairspray or whatever it is. Lotions aren't so bad. The caps are usually pretty tight on those, but shampoos, open liquid bottles like that tend to like just spill everywhere. So why not just throw them out, be done with it, and just buy new when you get there? You can, I have seen a tip where they put like saran wrap between the bottle and the actual cap, which keeps it from leaking. I've never really done it that way. The best way that works for me is get rid of it, take what I need in my essentials bag, and just buy new when I get to my new house. Because honestly, if it's all like goopy and crusted and sticky, who wants to deal with that mess anyway? And then you have something else to clean before you put it in your beautiful new cabinetry. So just let it go. Another don't, which I find kind of humorous actually, is, see, we all love Pinterest, and there's some really good ideas on Pinterest. But sometimes Pinterest can be like overwhelming to where like we're really not going to do these things. One of the don'ts I have when packing is try not to just overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't go overboard. And I'll give you an example. I've seen a thing where a good tip was to take little toilet paper rolls, the little cardboard toilet paper rolls, and use those to put wires in, like your little cords and wires, so they're all nice and don't get tangled. Well, I like the idea of not getting tangled, but I like that idea better in a Ziploc bag of their own with the name of what it goes to written on it. Because if I have to remember to like save all my toilet paper rolls or find them, or I don't know that you can buy them, but why? All that extra stuff is like, it's another step in the process that my brain can't comprehend. So just do what's necessary and try not to add more stress than is needed. Another don't in relation to that is if this stresses you out, something like this would stress me out and add more than necessary to the process of moving, is I've seen the tip where people say to wrap your breakables in like t-shirts and towels and scarves and socks, which is a good idea. However, if you're like me, then those t-shirts, towels, scarves, and socks are all like in a separate location and something else I have to deal with organizing again later. And so I would just much rather use bubble wrap, newspaper, whatever. So I know it's more to buy those things, but for me, and maybe you can relate, it's just another step in the process. Now I've unwrapped my cups and I have this t-shirt, toss it in the bedroom somewhere. It's just something else I have to clean up later. So I would rather just toss the newspaper away and be done with it. And the last do I have that has been helpful to me is definitely label the sides of your boxes and not the top, because of stacking reasons. You want to be able to read it from the side. But try using colored duct tape. And if you're like me and you just want something easy, as far as like visual color coding type option to help you organize and get that box where it needs to go quickly, use green for bedrooms or pink for bathrooms or whatever. And at least when you label it, you can also color code it, kind of gives you a visual and just helps the moving process to flow a little more easily if you're a visual person. I know for me, when everything's just written in a black Sharpie, when boxes are stacked, it can just kind of look a little chaotic. But if I can see like a stack of pink boxes in my mind, oh, okay, this whole section's going to the bathroom. So that might help you too. Hey, so if any of that was helpful, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see us every Sunday in 2021, and we hope to see you all real soon. You all have a great day, be blessed, and take care. Okay, if my light makes it through this next sentence, that'd be great. No,